This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball, and tonight it's game number 2. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Seattle Mariners from beautiful Safeco Field in the Great Northwest. A change at the back end of games. Trevor Rosenthal is out as closer. You may see Segrist. You could see Broxton. You may see O. Time will tell. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. Scott Warman is here. That's the Mad Hungarian. I'm Dan McLaughlin. So, after the tough outing for Trevor Rosenthal last night, he is out for the time being as the Cardinals closer.
Yeah, it's always tough when you have to replace your closer because it's such a dramatic part of the game. But I think we all realize the best thing for Trevor and the Cardinals moving forward is a change of scenery, moving to less pressure situations right now, and isn't it thankful that we've got guys like Broxton and O that have a lot of experience doing that, and I know we also have confidence in Segrist, so we're going to be fine as far as closing out games.
That's at the back end of games. The starters have been really good, and that includes Mike Leake, who gets the call tonight. Last 8 starts, a 2.70 ERA. Does it carry over tonight? We're about to find out. In Seattle, Washington, game number 2, the Cardinals and Mariners. Brandon Moss will bat 5th. He'll play first base for the Cardinals tonight. Our Kubota Power Stats takes a closer look at slugging percentage, and Moss in all the Major League Baseball leads in the month of June. Brandon also comes into play tonight with a team-high 16 home runs that is tied for 9th in the National League. We saw a number of Cardinal fans here for game number 1. They're here all weekend long. A lot of red in the seats. Cardinals baseball is coming up. Is brought to you by Bud Light. Raise 1-2 right now. By Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. The roof at Safeco Field is open tonight. It is a flashback weekend to 1984. So the Cardinals wearing the baby blue, powder blue, if you will, uniforms of the mid-1980s. Mariners in their throwbacks to 1984. It'll be Carpenter, Diaz, and Holliday, followed by Piscotty, Moss, Peralta, Molina, Pham, and Wong for St. Louis. Nathan Karns gets the start tonight for Seattle. 28-year-old, originally acquired by the Mariners from Tampa Bay, along with left-hander C.J. Raffenhauser and Boog Powell, who was just recently suspended within the last 48 hours for PEDs.
Karns was having a nice season until June came about. And like a lot of Scott Service's players, they've struggled in the month of June. They had a 6-game losing streak snapped last night. Karns has failed to get through 5 innings in his last 4 starts this month.
Here's a pitch to Carpenter that's driven out to left. Seth Smith is there. Handles the sinking liner, and there's one away. So Smith in left field. Martin in center. Nelson Cruz is in right. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. Seager, Marte, Cano, and Lee on the infield. Steve Clevenger, the former Cub, is behind the plate.
Right-handed batters have hit .310 against this right-handed pitcher. And most of the Cardinal right-handers are really struggling right now. He is 0 for his last 6, but it's had a good road trip, batting .462, and we know he loves to hit on the road.
And a breaking ball is taken for a strike. The issue with KARNS has been walks. ERA jumped from 3.43 at the end of May to over 4 now. He's throwing a lot of pitches, 17 per inning, 9th most right now in baseball. So that's why you don't see him go very deep into games.
Yeah, and Dan, he has an outstanding curveball. His fastball will top out about, well, it averages around 92. With a good curveball and loves to throw it. They say it's real tough on the left-handed batters, but the righties get a good look at it and have hit him hard.
2 balls and 2 strikes on the Cardinals shortstop. And Diaz sends a fly ball out to deep right center field. Cruz is back, and he makes the catch on the run. Tremendous catch, Nelson Cruz in right.
I thought he reached up and put his arm there maybe to deke Diaz because he put it up so soon. Usually when you do that, it kind of impedes your forward progress, but he put it up there and hauled it in. Make a play that I'm sure we didn't think he could make. Very nice play.
Here is HOLLIDAY batting .249. 13 home runs. He's driven in 41. 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the first. It is a beautiful day here in Seattle. So the roof is open.
What a difference, doesn't it?
Oh,
beautiful
man.
sight when you see the roof open here.
They can close it during the game if they want. If the weather conditions would warrant bad weather coming in. And it's at the discretion of the home team. And it has to happen when they close the roof to begin an inning. So it can't happen in the middle.
That usually works to the Mariners' advantage.
One and 2. Last year, KARNS was 7-5 with Tampa Bay, led all rookies in the American League in innings, strikeouts, and starts. There's that breaking ball, and he strikes out Matt Holliday. So the Cardinals go in order in the top of the first, and Mike Leake to the mound when we come back. Look at Mike Leake, who started last Sunday against the Rangers. He allowed 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, 8 hits, struck out 5 over 6 innings, but he took a no decision. The lineup that he'll face will be Martin, Smith, Cano, then Cruz, Seager, Lee, Lind, Clevenger, and Marte, the switch hitting shortstop.
Well, Mike Leake really has been pitching well, and his last 8 starts, you mentioned that 5-1, 2.70 ERA. But when you look at his opponent tonight, A lot of these guys were playing on different teams when they faced Mike in the past, and a lot of them have big batting averages against Leake, so it's going to be a tough assignment tonight.
Martin is hitting .249, 11 home runs. He's driven in 26. And the first pitch from the right-hander is a strike. Hyundai pitch arsenal for the Cardinals righty.
Now just think about the fact of getting that sinker working, getting the ground balls, but Mike Leake leads the staff in allowing 14 home runs. Nobody else is in double figures, and a lot of times those home runs come on that cutter.
Starters have been very good the last 2.5 weeks. Cardinals 10-7 in their last 17 games. 4 of the 7 losses have been the result of a blown save. 5th loss was a game that the pen gave up a run in a tie game. So the bullpen has had their issues here recently. The starters have gotten it going. There's your ground ball, but it's pulled foul.
The starters need to continue. They've had 13 consecutive quality starts, and offense needs to score more than 3 runs. Do that, got a good chance of winning.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Martin was in Taiwan in 2010 for the World University Baseball Championship. That's where he defected from Cuba. Former teammate of Cardinals shortstop LEONYS Diaz. The 2-2. He initially signed a 5-year deal for $15 million with the Texas Rangers and was traded to Seattle this past offseason. 3-2 pitch. Ground ball. Handled by Brandon Moss. He'll take it himself. Steps on the bag for the out. The Cardinals defensively. Kolten Wong, his first ever start. First time he's ever played left field. Tommy Pham in center. Steven Piscotty is in right. Johnny Peralta, LEONYS Diaz, Matt Carpenter, Brandon Moss on the infield. Molina is behind the plate. And around the horn is presented by DOBBS. So again, a new position for Kolten Wong.
Yeah, they took him yesterday during batting practice and put him out in left field, thinking that maybe defensive shifts late in the ball game. But here the next day he's starting in left field, and he's got to be happy with that because, you know, you increase your versatility, you become that much more of a positive for your manager.
Smith is hitting .265. He played collegiately at Ole Miss, where he was also the backup quarterback to Eli Manning. It makes you think of a longtime Rocky, great player Todd Helton. Served as a QB with Peyton Manning at Tennessee. Some of the best years for Smith were in Colorado.
Jerry Davis is our home plate umpire, born in St. Louis, but lives in Wisconsin now.
Jerry Davis, the crew chief behind the plate. Carlos Torres at first, Rob Drake at second, and Sam Holbrook is down at third. The 2-2. Over Leak, let it go, charging, making the play, Diaz. They had the shift on, and a very good play by LEONYS Diaz. Not an easy play, but we've seen with Diaz coming in on these balls, he is really good.
Yeah, he's getting more and more confident with his play, and you look at there, and Mike Leake, who is a very good fielder, good athlete, does a good job to lay off that ball. Trust his defense is going to be in position to make that play, and Diaz did.
Here's Robinson Cano. Next home run will be his 20th. It'll be the 7th season with 20 or more home runs. 6th second baseman in the history of the game to do that, and he strokes it to left. Wong showing off the arm, and a strike into the bag at second.
Very nice play right there by Colton, getting to that ball in foul territory quickly, backhanded and coming up firing. Looked like off the bat that was going to be that next double for Cano, but by being so aggressive in left field, he holds him to a single. Nice piece of hitting, ball away, and took it that way. Well, look at how Colton takes this ball and gets it back in.
It'll be interesting to see how his arm translates to center field, but in left field, you would think he'd have an above average arm.
It's so important to charge a ball aggressively and coming up firing. If you do that, you'll stop a lot of guys from taking the extra base on you. But I totally agree. Out and left, it probably has to be a plus arm.
You talk to most around the game, if they're trying to hide a player, if you will, they'll put him in left field. Considered not one of the tougher defensive positions. But still, for a guy that's made his living and signed a contract to play second base every day in the big leagues, it certainly is a transition.
I remember a freshman in college at University of Hawaii, he did play outfield, center field. And it's much easier for an infielder to go to the outfield than it is for an outfielder to come to second like Schumacher did a couple years ago.
2 balls and a strike on Nelson Cruz. He has 18 home runs, was hitless last night. A lot of strikeouts, 75. So with that power comes an awful lot of strikeouts from their power hitter. Drives it into center field, and it gets away from Pham. Kept it in front. Cano on his way to third. Ball was scorched into center field.
Absolutely crushed, but as you said, Tommy Pham keeps the ball in front of him, and that's why we still have a scoreless game. Tries to come in, make the shoot top catch, and this ball, you just don't know. It's hit so hard, would it carry all the way? You see it bounces in front of him, goes off the body, but with the ball being in front of him, Cano can only go to third. So runners at the corners, but 2 outs. Did a real rough little estimate in their lineup here today. There's 18 hits by Mariner hitters against Leak.
There's Kyle Seager. Well, key play in this inning is Colton Wong, at least so far, keeping that ball in front and making sure to hold Cano to a single. If not, it's 1-0 Seattle.
3 home runs, 18 hits, and there's 3 guys that had never faced Leak. So some guys with some experience against Leak. Seager's 1 for 1.
December of 2014, he signed a 7-year, $100 million extension to stay here in Seattle. Good play by Molina to keep that in front.
What else is new?
Yep.
You see that shift in the patented block where the glove is just used to become a barrier between your legs to stop a ball, but try to take it off the chest protector and keep it right in front of you.
Here's a 1-1. Breaking ball and a check swing did not go.
Seager had 26 home runs a year ago and 15 this year. 3 of their hitters have 15 or more home runs, led by Cano in his 19.
Lee is on deck, and the 2-1 is a strike.
All the breaking balls, that fastball at 92 looked like it was about 102.
Seager has some power, 6 home runs. He's driven in 27. Runners at first and third. And the 2-2.
You just saw Yachty after that pitch is called a ball, but he gave that a little affirmative to Mike Leake, saying that's exactly where we want it. Little things that catchers can do to keep on telling a pitcher that we have confidence in you. Just keep on making that pitch and you'll get him out.
Runner from first, Cruz off with his pitch. 2 outs, the 3-2. Breaking ball, and the bases are loaded.
Doesn't happen all the time, but you can almost predict that a high percentage on 3-2 pitches like that, you're going to get a breaking ball.
Lee, the first baseman for Seattle.
323 home runs he's hit in the Orient. His rookie here at the big league level with 10 home runs this year.
First pitch is a strike. He saw a steady diet of breaking balls last night from Carlos Martinez.
He hit that high chopper and gave them the 1-0 lead on a ground out to third base. Martinez really did pitch well in that game.
Outfield is straight away. And the 0-1. In Korea, he was voted by the fans the most popular player in the sport. One point, he had 9 home runs in 9 consecutive games. 3-time MVP in the Korean League.
Won a couple home run championships, and then he moved on to Japan too.
Ground ball, base hit in the right. 1 run is in. Here comes another. 2-0 Seattle.
Well, we talked about Lee has 10 home runs, but very few at bats, and now he's going to get more and more playing time. Had been a platoon at first with Lynn. When you start driving in early runs, you'll get more playing time. Remember, Aoki sent back to the minor leagues as they're carrying 8 relievers.
Here's Adam Lynn, the hero last night. His home run knocks Trevor Rosenthal out of the closer's spot. Pop back and foul. Mariners have had 3 walk-off home runs when trailing by 2 or 3 runs in their history. Tom Paciorek in 1981. Last night with Lynn, and the other one was 1985. Phil Bradley.
Yeah, I saw that.
One of the most decorated athletes in Mizzou sports history. He was the quarterback of the Missouri Tigers and led them to 3 bowl games. Little tapper, that's foul. Phil now working for Major League Baseball's Players Association. And here it is last night. Went down to get it, and a no-doubter.
Change up.
A double, a walk, and then a 3-run homer and a devastating blow.
They've been 2 for 6 off of Trevor. Off of Mike Leake, he's 3 for 6 with a home run and 3 RBIs.
Big gap in right center for the former Milwaukee Brewer. Phil was such a good athlete. He played baseball at Macomb. It's where the St. Louis Rams used to train. Named a baseball field after him. He was an All-American in high school, went to Mizzou, and then off to Major League Baseball. High fly ball. Colton Wong
no play.
Mike Leake got the first 2 men out. It took a good play by Diaz to get the second out. 2 ground balls, and then he's failed to retire the next 4 batters. 3 base hits, 3 singles, and a walk.
This might be one of those plays where you see Molina throw back behind Lind and get Lee. Lee has taken a huge secondary lead. A lot of momentum going to the bag at second base.
I saw that too, and you know, if we see it, Yachty's seen it before us.
Up the middle past Diaz and into center field. 3 runs have scored with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
He's getting his ground balls, but they've been hit hard and going through. Yachty's glove go back over the middle of the plate, wanted it away, and you know, situation you're trying to get the ground ball. He got one, but it didn't find a fielder.
Here's Steve Clevenger batting .234 with a home run, and he's driven in 7.
2 for 5 off of Leake.
And a ground ball that's hit to second, taken there by Carpenter. Mike Leake retired the first 2, and then 5 straight would reach. 3-0. He addressed his closer situation.
We did talk with Rosie, and really the mindset is letting him know that we'll probably have him in a little different role here for a little while, and we just need to figure out a way to get him right and figure out how to get him to the point of being the pitcher that he's been the last few years. And right now, the 9th inning is a tough ask to do that. So we'll continue to watch, but right now we'll just kind of wait and see if we can get him into some spots to get into that good place.
Well, it's happened before. You may remember in 2006, Jason Isringhausen, the Cardinals' all-time saves leader, injured down the stretch, and then Adam Wainwright finished off a World Series. 2011, it was Jason Mott thrust into that spot at the end of the season. Most recently, it was Rosenthal replacing Edward Mujica back in 2013. So they're going to try to get him right.
Absolutely. And during the course of your career, or even in a year, you can lose confidence. You can kind of have a setback, change the role a little bit, and there's no reason why he can't regain it. But it's the best thing for Rosenthal, and it's the best thing for the team right now to give him a change of scenery.
Off the end of the bat, Stephen Piscotty. To the bag goes KARNS. And that's 4 up and 4 down. Let's take a look at Raboski's Toyota keys to the game.
Real simply, just got to have to bounce back. You know, you think about this ball club, a tough loss last night, but you know, that's the beauty of baseball. You play every day, so you have that short memory. And as bad as it was for Rosenthal last night, I'm sure, you know, you have to have that short memory as a closer, and before you leave the ballpark last night, you're thinking positive thoughts and ready to play today. But everybody's got to help out, and they all got to bounce back and do something. Everyone can look in the mirror and see what they could do to right the ship.
Here's Brandon Moss, 2 doubles last night. One of his best friends on the team is Jed Jerko. And Jerko clearly with an eye on this game, but also an eye on those back home. There's Jed in West Virginia, where he was born and raised. There's a bunt by Moss. Can he beat it out? He cannot.
Great idea. Just didn't get it far enough away from the catcher spot. Clevenger jumped on that ball and got the out at first, but we were noticing last night we didn't see anybody in a pitcher on the left side of the infield when Moss was hitting. So you're absolutely right about West Virginia and all the tragedy, but you can see what he's looking at. It just didn't get far enough out on the grass.
Death toll has risen to 24 today. The PGA canceled their stop at the Greenbrier Classic in West Virginia, and certainly thoughts and prayers with those in the Mountaineers. All the flooding that's taken place in West Virginia.
I mean, it's incredible, some of those photos and pictures. And remember the flooding we had in the St. Louis region in '93, and I can remember I saw one little video clip where the gentleman in West Virginia was saying, "What? This is like a massive flooding compared to what they had in '93."
2-0 on Johnny Peralta, batting .246, couple of home runs and 8 RBIs. 8th inning last night, the Cardinals scored 3 runs in that inning without getting any hits. First time that had happened for St. Louis since late April 1968, April 27th of that year against the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's rare, but it has happened before, as Don Roach picked up the win in an inning and 2/3 for Seattle. 53rd pitcher to record a win in his Mariners debut. Backhanded by SEAGER. 6 up, 6 down for Nathan KARNS. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Mariners last year finished 76-86, trying to end the team's 14-year run without a postseason appearance. Into center field, and it drops in front of Tommy Pham on a base hit for Marte. You can fill out your 2016 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot now at Cardinals.com on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Vote up to 35 times. Vote tonight. Vote tomorrow. Cardinals.com. So Martinez gave the Cardinals their 13th quality start in a row last night. Quality start, at least 6 innings, no more than 3 earned. The 2015 team did this. The club's all-time record is shared with the 1973 Cardinals and the 2010 team. Martin showing bunt and strike 1. 73 Cardinals team was led by 27-year-old Rick Wise. He was a 16-game winner. If you're wondering, Bob Gibson was 12-10 that year at the age of 37. Rick Wise, of course, traded for Steve Carlton. Carlton was coming off a 20-9 campaign and asked for a salary of $65,000 for 1972. Cardinals said no, balked at the demand, and he was traded for Rick Wise and went to Philadelphia.
Yeah, Rick was having contract troubles with Philadelphia, and Gussie Busch ordered Bing Devine, get rid of him. I don't care what you get.
Ground ball and a base hit right side. So 2 hits as Marte stops at second base. And the following year, Steve Carlton put up what is arguably one of the greatest seasons in the history of baseball. The Phillies won a total of 59 games. Carlton went 27-10 with a 1.97 ERA. So to put it in perspective, he won 45.8% of the games that year for the Phillies. It's incredible.
That was when a lot of the young Phillies players that became very, very good ball players, Bowen, Schmidt, guys like that, were all kind of coming through. And every time Carlton left, pitched, they felt like, okay, you elevate them like 3 or 4 years to where they were in their prime, and they just played out of their shoes for him. And also, I think they documented that every time Carlton started, there was an extra 15,000 people there or something of that nature, and those guys just played great behind him. But then when he wasn't pitching, they kind of went back to just being a real young, inexperienced team. Mazinski,
Well, after he left St. Louis, he won 252 games. Pains me to say that.
Well, think about, everybody
Your
talks.
teams would have won.
Oh, and then add Jerry Royce,
right,
who won another 200 games and was traded.
4 Cy Young awards too.
Yeah, I cringe whenever I say, "Oh, how bad those teams were." We just take away some of those guys.
Sure.
And the one year, I can't remember, it was 73 or 74. We had a 5.5 game lead in August. Gibby tore up his knee. He had to have surgery, and our number 2 and number 3 starters won 1 game the next 6 weeks each.
2-1 on Smith, who grounded out against the shift, and a good play by Ledmus Diaz to charge. And Mike Leake got the first 2 hitters he saw in this game. Then the next 5 would reach 4 singles and a walk. And it's a 3-0 Mariners lead. In the air, center field. Pham is back near the wall, And Pham has it. Just enough room. Runners tag from first to second. And second to third.
Couldn't hit it any further and stay in the ballpark. And you talk about Scott Service, the manager here, never managed at any level before like Mike Matheny, but he's put a coaching staff around that's got a lot of guys experience. Tim Bogart, a lot of minor league experience. You saw Manny Acta, who's managed about 900 games in the big leagues.
First base open. They will walk Robinson Cano to get to Nelson Cruz. There's a look at Scott Service. First season at the helm of the Mariners. Jerry Dipoto, the general manager, knew of Service and familiar with him as the assistant GM with the Angels and their director of player development with Texas, so he brings him over here.
Yeah, they might have been together as players with Colorado. There you see Jerry Dipoto, whose career ended with bulging disc in his neck, a little right-handed relief pitcher. He had kind of a falling out when he was the general manager of the Angels and kind of challenged Mike Scioscia's helm there, and you're going to come out losing. Mike, one of the most popular, and especially with his ownership.
Bases loaded, and here's Nelson Cruz. Ground ball, and Peralta can't come up with it. He fields that cleanly. It might be a double play. Instead, nobody out. 4-0 Seattle.
Oh, another rocket. And that ball got on Johnny real quick. It's coming right there. Looks like he tries to backhand it, and looked like it might have hit him in the heel of the glove. Couldn't stay in there. And I think you're right. If he was able to field it, probably would have gotten out of the inning with the twin killing. Error.
It's an E5 and an RBI. That's Peralta's first error this year. Here's Kyle Seager.
It breaks a tie between Seager and Cruz for 40 with RBIs. That's 48 for Seager, 49 now for Cruz.
Seager is hit safely in all 8 interleague games this year.
They're 7-1 in interleague play this year.
And his numbers against the National League just ridiculous. Hitting over 500, hitting for power. He's the oldest of 3 Seager boys. Corey, the shortstop in Los Angeles in his first year. Justin, younger brother, is in the Mariners system, was drafted back in 2013.
Can you buy stock in that family?
Pretty good athletes. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ground ball, double play ball. But Carpenter struggles with that. He will get the out at first as a run scores. The one thing that you have to have behind Mike Leake is good defense. Now, that's a statement you could say with any pitcher, but especially with Leake. He's not going to strike out many. He's going to get a lot of ground balls.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about this rocket off the bat of Cruz getting his 49th RBI. Now Seager ties him with an RBI here, but Carpenter always alert. Instead of putting his head down after booted it, he gets the out at first. But you're right, Mike Leake early in the season was victimized badly by his infield defense, more so than any other starter. And let's face it, he's given up 8 hits already in this one, but a couple miscues.
Ground ball that's hit to short. Diaz makes the play. Seattle strands 2. They add 2 more to their lead, and it's 5-0 as we head to the 3rd. And Trevor Rosenthal. Scotty.
All right, Dan, thanks so much. You guys played the soundbite. Mike Matheny's thoughts before today's game. He didn't really specify when we talked about it a little bit more as far as what was going to happen in a specific role for Trevor Rosenthal moving forward. He also said, Mike Matheny, that it wasn't going to be one specific person that will be the closer in the 9th inning. It could be Soon Won Oh, Jonathan Broxton. It could be Kevin Seagrist as well. When I asked him about is it a mechanical issue, Mike Matheny, Dan, said no, not specifically.
Well, bottom line, he's not getting anybody out.
And his ERA this month is over 14. But he's just too talented. He's got too much, it's not mechanical when you're throwing 98 miles an hour. So he'll get it figured out. But it's nice to have the options that they have down there in that bullpen. Team game.
Well, Karns does not go very deep into games. Tampa Bay a year ago basically wouldn't let him get to the 3rd time in the order. After that, the numbers just skyrocketed against him. So you'd have to say, Al, that you're going to see the bullpens of both teams here tonight. And if you're Seattle, just looking at it, trying to find some type of positive to this start, you would say that bullpen is much maligned right now. It is beat up, coming off a very tough road trip.
Yeah, remember how many losses they had late in those games. Leads lost.
Karns makes the play off the bat of Yadier Molina for the 1st out.
And we talked about Karns has allowed a .310 batting average to right-handed batters. The problem is tonight is Diaz is 0 for 7. Holliday is 0 for his last 6. Piscotty's 0 for his last 11. Peralta is 0 for his last 8. And Yadi is 0 for his last 19. That's our right-handed batters there tonight are 0 for 48. There's a do factor.
Any other positive news you'd like to tell me?
Well, we miss Jim Hayes.
Yes, we do. Scott's doing a great job. Normally, this is the time we could ask Jim to come up into the booth and we just start punching him.
I mean, he'd be whipping out his wallet, buying us lunch, dinner.
Of course he would.
Ride home. I can dream, can I?
The 1-1. And Pham lifts a fly ball into center. Martin is there. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for this right-hander: fastball, very good curve, throw that about 36% of the time, and a changeup.
And they say the curveball is especially tough on the right-handed batters. You know, they're just batting 204, excuse me, left-handed batters, they're batting 204 against him. But the righties are batting 310 prior to tonight.
Here's Colton Wong, and that's the Cardinals' first base hit as he slaps it into left. Doing that more and more since he's come up. Take the ball the other way.
And a nice little talk with him, and not coming back and going down with the right attitude. And you know, he knew that, you know sometimes where you've got to go down and take a refresher course, just kind of clear your head, have some positive results playing every day, and then you come back here and he knows that that was the right thing, and he feels good about himself right now, and he should.
There's Carpenter, who flied out to left. If this is truly a turn back the clock day, shouldn't the roof be closed?
Because we'd be in the Kingdom.
So if you're just tuning in, the uniforms, and apparently there's really no special significance to 1984 for the Mariners. It's some nice players on that team, but they decided, hey, we're going to turn back the clock to 1984. The uniforms being worn from that season.
Mark Langston was a big pitcher on that team. I think he was Rookie of the Year. Does that sound right? Rookie pitcher. Saw where Beverly Hills Cop was the top producing movie. Dynasty on television.
Michael Jackson's Thriller was the top album, 1984. Alvin Davis was a part of that team. Dave Valley, Jim Presley. As you mentioned, Langston, Rookie of the Year. He struck out 204 that season. 2 balls and 1 strike on Carpenter. We had the chance to visit with Rick and Tammy Carpenter last night at the team hotel. Matt's parents, and obviously very proud of their son. Rick, an accomplished high school baseball coach, many years at Lawrence Elkins High School. He built a powerhouse, a national championship there.
He was National Coach of the Year one year, right? Recently?
He was. Coached 4 major leaguers, including his son.
I saw them on the field today, and I said, the one thing we forgot to talk about was the new baby. And they were beaming after that.
The 2-2.
And how about Matt Carpenter, the way he is hit? 15 out of the last 16 games. Just been crushing the ball. And when he doesn't crush the ball, he takes a walk.
Wong is off with his pitch. Carpenter puts one in the gap. The Cardinals might get on the board. There he goes, and the 3-2 is taken high. Matt Carpenter with his 50th walk of the year to go along with 52 strikeouts. If you can't watch the games on TV, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store, download the free Fox Sports Go app. Log in, stream the Cardinals wherever you go. It's back on July 9th of last year. Diaz was at AA, designated for assignment to clear the way for first baseman, you may remember, journeyman Dan Johnson. Johnson currently playing independent baseball in the Atlantic League for the Long Island Ducks. And where would the Cardinals be without Diaz this year? Sidebar to Johnson. Tampa Bay released him this spring. He was trying to make a comeback as a knuckleball pitcher. Talking with Diaz before the game, he said, I'm finally in my rhythm, both on and off the field. Said the Cardinals were significant in helping me, not just in baseball, but just in life. Get his parents visas to leave Cuba to come to the United States. He is settled in and might be the Rookie of the Year in the National League. Chopped foul by Chris Maloney, whose son is on this trip. Out there every day working hard on infield, outfield, BP. He's busy.
Very polite young man. Very respectful. And the Cardinals, along with everybody in baseball, doing a much better job of helping these young kids come from other countries and helping them along with English and just, you know, their life in general.
Runners at first and second. That's taken low. Holliday is on deck.
Got to get back in this game. Just start pecking away. You know, they got on the board after 2 outs in the first inning when they scored 3 runs. Cardinals need to do it right here with 2 outs.
Runners off with this pitch. The 3-2. Back-to-back walks and the bases are loaded. And I mean to tell you that Matt Holliday put on an exhibition in batting practice, and now he has a chance at the bases loaded. 1 swing and the Cardinals right back in this game.
Well, Stoudemire Jr. out to talk to his pitcher. Remember, in the month of June, he has failed to go past 5 innings, and you're staked to a 5-0 lead. You're letting the Cardinals come right back in it. Matt just 1 for 12 on the road trip. That 1 hit was a home run in Chicago.
Mentioned the injuries to this rotation with Felix Hernandez, Wade Miley. Adrian Sampson is now done for the year. They found out today he'll require elbow surgery, so his season is through. Right now, it's Holliday and the base is loaded. Up the middle, that's a base hit. 1 run is in. Carpenter is held up as the ball scoots away. And Matt Holliday picks up the RBI, and it brings in Stephen Piscotty as the Cardinals get on the board.
Martin in center field has a very, very strong arm, and the Cardinals respecting that. They held Carpenter up at third base. But the Cardinals were on the board. Matt Holliday picks up that base hit. Powers the ball through, but Martin, look at this throw. Kind of ate up the catcher. And Wong, when he comes in there, he's trying to tell Carpenter to come, so he'll pick up that bat, or at least try to. Kind of kicked it out of the way in case you don't want to have somebody slide over it.
Piscotty looks at a ball. As we talked about earlier, second, third time through the lineup against KARNS is when he's had a lot of issues last year and a half. The 1-0. Breaking ball taken high. The crowd a bit restless. A packed crowd here tonight at this ballpark. 4 for 7 this year with the bases loaded in his career. 538 and a grand slam for Piscotty.
Some people get in RBI situations and they just thrive on it. Others succumb to it.
The 2-0 pitch. 3-0.
I know we're going to come in here, talk to his starter. Slow down, maybe a little threat. Whatever it takes to get the job done. When your teammates give you 5 runs, you don't want to give it right back to them, and that's what the Cardinals have gotten with the walks. 25 total pitches this inning, 47 on the night.
3-0 pitch. 3-1.
Scotty just so comfortable with the RBI situations, and he has responded. Activity in the Mariners bullpen.
3-1 pitch. Line to Cano. Hard hit ball, but right at Robinson Cano. The Cardinals, though, pick up a run, and it's now a 5-1 game. The full set of exclusive Hall of Fame bobbleheads from the last 2 years. Receive 50% off on the official museum book Redbird Relics when using the code BOOK16. You get that now at cardinals.com/museum. Adam Lind, Steve Clevenger, and Marte. This date in Cardinals history, Jose Jimenez threw a no-hitter back in 1999. That was against the Arizona Diamondbacks. There's a base hit for Lynn. There's no score in that game matched up against Randy Johnson till 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Thomas Howard hit a broken bat single, brought home Darren Skagg. And there's the final out. And you might recall, too, just 10 days later, Jimenez took a no-hitter into the 5th against Randy Johnson and the Diamondbacks. Picked up a 2-hit, 1-0 shutout. After that season, the Cardinals traded him to the Rockies. He became their closer. Saved over 100 games for Colorado.
Remember that big long arm and sling the ball up there, and
great sinker.
A lot of ground. Yeah, I was going to see the ground balls.
Saw George Kissel in that shot in the dugout.
Danny, Randy lost to the Cardinals with a no-hitter. Then I think his next start was in Cincinnati, and it was something like a 2-hitter. And then he came to us, and it was like a 3-hitter. But he pitched like 3 straight great games and lost all 3 and gave up single-digit hits in every one of them.
It's a 2-hit shutout the next time against the Cardinals.
Yeah, but I mean, in between there was a start too that he pitched so well.
Randy Johnson, a big part of the history here in Seattle. Tyler Lyons starts to throw in the Cardinals pen. We saw Ray Washburn before the game tonight.
Yeah, Ray came up, saw us here in the booth. Lives up here. Dan Farrell and Cardinal Marketing that does a great job. He's waiting for his phone call for next year. The 67 world champion St. Louis Cardinals.
Ray, a big part of that team.
Oh yeah.
Ray threw the first pitch ever, if memory serves correct, in Busch Stadium 2. As Clevenger strikes out. He also threw the first pitch for Cincinnati in their new ballpark. So he finished up with the Reds. First strikeout for Mike Leake.
Comes back every year, it seems like, for the winter warm-up. He and his wife.
Here's Marte. Looks at a breaking ball outside. Mariners are second in Major League Baseball, 110 home runs. They've hit a home run in 60 of the 74 games they played in. Two and 0.
I like that sun. The lights are on and the reflection in the right field lights.
High fly ball, deep right center. Piscotti with room makes the catch.
I'm blinding my partner.
It's tough to see. Safeco opened in 1999. Wanted to produce more home runs. They moved in the fences prior to 2013. See beyond the wall in left. It's the football stadium. Also, they play soccer there, and it's been a big sports day here in the area with a soccer game this afternoon. Here's the 0-1. Mike Leake isn't missing many bats tonight.
No, as you mentioned, he's never going to get a lot of strikeouts. They're going to put the ball in play, but he needs good defense behind him. He's given up 7 hits in this game and walked a pair, including one intentional.
Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks just missed on the inside corner. 1-2 the count.
Jerry DiPoto, he was named general manager up here, got very, very busy. Ton of transactions.
Hit up the middle, base hit. Lind will stop at second. '90th anniversary of the 26 World Championship team. Friday, July 1st. 30,000 fans ages 16 and older take home a wearable championship ring. That's courtesy of Edward Jones. Stay in your seats after the game. Post-game fireworks presented by Cooper Tires, and that's on July the 1st. Cardinals.com/promotions.
Now, is this allowing Lyons to? You would think he would be ready if Mike Matheny wanted to call upon him now with a couple left-handers back-to-back.
It's 8 hits allowed by Mike Leake trying to get through 3 innings.
Second time Lyons has been up. This game is far from being over, so if Mike Leake can hold them down, keep them at bay right now, you got a chance for a Cardinal victory.
Two outs and two on. Runners advance to second and third.
I think there's been more balls that have gotten away from Molina this year than I can think in his career. Playing every day, it's such a grind, and struggling with the bat right now.
One ball, one strike to Seth Smith. Tomorrow it's Garcia and James Paxton. Then we have 4 with the Royals, 2 in Kansas City, 2 at home. Wainwright, Walker, Martinez, and Leake all lined up for that series. The 2-1 pitch. Again, another pitch that's up for Mike Leake.
Yeah, Seth Smith is 0 for 2 tonight, but 5 for 10 with 2 doubles and a home run against Leake. I have to believe that probably his last batter this inning. Get him out, let the offense take over, get back in this ball game. Curveballs tonight.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Leake trying to put him away. Misses in. Walk, a base hit, could be the final pitch of the night for Mike Leake. Strikes him out or gets out some way, somehow. See him pitch in the 4th. Three-2 hit to Diaz. Mariners strand 2. They have left 6 on through 3 innings. We're at Safeco Field in Seattle. Jason Whitlock. Speak for yourself on FS1. And I mean, the hot takes will be flying. All kinds of sports hot takes.
Let's hope the Cardinals can get the team flying around the base paths.
Here's Brandon Moss, followed by Peralta and Molina.
See, the bunt that he tried to lay down first time up has forced them to change their defense. Now you see the third baseman on the left side of the infield.
1-0 pitch, 2 balls and no strikes.
Karns is trying to do his job, get the team back in this, isn't he?
Cardinals saw their 8-game road winning streak snapped last night. Franchise's all-time record was set in 1941. That club started the season with 12 straight wins away from home. Cardinals have been, for whatever reason, a much better road team, 10 games above 500, than at home where they're 6 below.
Won 55 games a year ago at Busch Stadium. Seems like ever since Busch Stadium 3 has opened up in 2006, they won 50. Seems like they won at least 50 games.
They've never had a losing season.
Yeah, never had a losing season. And still time to right the ship and can keep that streak going.
Moss gets underneath it and skies it. Pops it up, backing up Cano. Cardinals last year, a 100-win team. First team since the 05 club to win 100 games. 04 did it as well. Last year at home, the Cardinals won 20 of their first 29. Best home start since 1887. They finished up with 55 home wins. They went 55-26 at home.
And you still have that fabulous atmosphere with 40,000 screaming Cardinal fans every single night. Sea of red.
1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, Dan, it's such a long season. You have your ups and downs, but when you have that fan base that the Cardinals have, you know, it elevates you every day when you're at home.
It should.
Yeah. I mean, you never want to embarrass yourself, but if you do, you want to do it in front of 10,000, not 40 plus.
Road players come in and they just marvel at the amount of people that are in the seats for just a random Tuesday night.
Weekend game, I mean a weekday game.
Sometimes it's weekday games that are 100 degrees and still 40,000 plus there.
A great selling point to all potential free agents. And look at how fortunate the Cardinals have been, and over the years they have a player that they sign or trade for and then are able to get them to ink up for a long term because of their experience in St. Louis. Always a plus.
Peralta waves at that pitch and strikes out. 2 tonight for the right-hander Nathan Karns.
Late swing on this one is
here's Yadier Molina. And he hits it out of play. Molina, first time up, bounce back to the pitcher.
He's 8 hits away from 1,500 in his career, but 0 for his last 19.
Average has dipped under 260. In the air to center. Martinez there. And he makes the catch. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Mike Leake back to the mound. Mariners on top. Fourth, we check in with Scott Warman.
All right, Dan, thanks so much. Matt Adams again not in the lineup. Remember, he was the late scratch last night because of back spasms. He told us before tonight's game that he was feeling better, and he did take some BP. Mike Matheny telling us he is available for pinch hitting duties later in the game, but was rather cautious as if he would put him out on the field here in the middle game of the three-game set, Dan.
Robinson Cano, a base hit into center field. So again, Leake will have to work from the stretch. Cano on base for the third time. 2 singles and a walk. See some of these balls that have just found holes on the infield. Many of them, though, have been hard hit.
Yeah, they're hit hard, and you're trying to get your ground balls. He's getting them, but they're finding holes for defensive shifts. But not a good showing. 9 hits allowed already, and Tyler Lyons is worn out in the bullpen.
So runner at first is Cano, and a strike to Nelson Cruz. He's back in inning number 2. Cardinals had first base open. They walk Cano to get to Cruz, set up a potential double play. Hard hit ball went off the glove of Peralta. Could have been 2. And instead, that extended the inning. Ruled an error on Johnny Peralta, his first of the season. So nobody out, count of no balls and 1 strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2. Hitting coach here with Seattle, one of the great DHs that ever played this game, Edgar Martinez. Replaced Howard Johnson in June 20th of last year. Team average jumped nearly 30 points after he took over. He's been lauded for video work and preparation. A fly ball out to Colton Wong. Makes the catch. Cano back to the bag at first. Spent his entire 18-year career here. And that might be the most famous hit in Mariners history. 2-run double off of Jack McDowell and the Yankees that won the series. They went to the championship series, lost to Cleveland, their first ever ALCS. But the popularity at that time with the Mariners was enormous, and many believe that's why they have this new ballpark. That happened right around the vote as to whether or not they should make a new ballpark, move, build this one, and thanks to Edgar Martinez, it is here. So that's it for Mike Leake. They'll go with the lefty when we come back. Martinez as a designated hitter all time, first in average, first in OPS. In terms of the Hall of Fame, the most votes he's received, 43%. You need 75%. Frank Thomas spent nearly 60% of his games as a DH. He's in the Hall of Fame. Most believe David Ortiz is headed to the Hall of Fame, not eligible until 2020. Nearly 90% of his games have been as the designated hitter of the Boston Red Sox and briefly with Minnesota. This is our Chevy called to the pen.
Tyler Lyons has pitched since June 22nd.
And he'll get a double play. Out at second, out at first. It's a double play off the bat of SEAGER. We head to inning number 5, and it's 5-1. gets the double play. It'll be Tommy Pham, Colton Wong, and Matt Carpenter for St. Louis. 5th inning, Cardinals trail 5-1. Pham flied out to center his first time up. There's strike one.
And you get the feeling that if the Cardinals can hold them to 5 runs, that they will come back and win this game. Get into that bullpen of the Mariners, which has struggled of late. Karns has failed to go beyond 5 innings in the month of June, and winless during that time.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. And Pham is hit. The final line, by the way, on Mike Leake: 3 1/3, 9 hits, 5 runs, 4 of those earned. Struck out 1, walked 2, 1 of those intentional. No home runs allowed. Couple plays made behind Leake. While it wouldn't still be a pretty night for him, it'd be better.
Yeah, you got to look at it that way. And you know, there were times when he was looking for a ground ball to get double plays, and those ground balls went on through.
Now Colton Wong, who singled to left and pops it up. SEAGER over and can't come up with it. Colton has scored the only run for the Cardinals tonight. Mention the name of Jerry Davis, the St. Louis native, home plate umpire. Normally only 2 umpires work in the Gulf Coast League. One of those yesterday was a female umpire, the first to do so in a pro game since 2007.
Yeah, we had there for a while. There was some ladies knocking on the door trying to make their way to the major leagues, but hadn't heard of any for a while.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Wong.
They've been serving combat and all special forces. I guess they could become umpires, handle the physical and the mental part of it. I think the mental part would be the cat calls, this things that they'd learn about themselves, how to shut your mind off.
One and 2.
Cardinals only 2 hits tonight, 1 by Wong, and you feel like they're right in it.
Big gap in right center. Runner goes, and it's chopped to the left side. Tough play here, no play. And Wong is aboard. They start the runner, and by doing so, it's a base hit for Colton Wong. Very tough play for Marte to make that adjustment, and the speed of Wong to get down the line.
Cardinals rarely put runners in motion, but good things can happen. Saw the shortstop covering. He does recover and get that ball, but didn't have a play at first. Got Carpenter coming up. Perfect. The next man up. Keep the line moving.
Fly to left and also walked back in the third. Third time through this lineup, and let's see what happens here with Karns. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Ranky ball and a strike.
And well documented. This is what hitters have their way with Karns in third time up. Guys stretching in the Mariners bullpen, all jumping to come in this game. Karns is making it very difficult on his manager. He wants to keep him in there long enough to qualify for a win, but doesn't want to lose a ball game.
Good speed for the Cardinals with Wong and Pham at first and second. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Carpenter. Fastball just missed.
Much bigger crowd than last night, but you're starting to hear the chants rooting for the Cardinals.
Chevy Fox tracks and missed on the outside corner. In the outfield and the infield, they play Carpenter to pull. The 2-1. 2-2. .343 the average against third time through against Nathan Karns.
Good speed out there with Pham and Wong. Love the pace of an American League game.
In terms of the outfield arms, Martin in center, a cannon. Smith is above average. Cruz isn't bad either. Keep that in mind if the Cardinals pick up a base hit. It's slapped the other way and foul. And this is where Carpenter is so tough. Lets the ball get deep. Not a ball that he wants to drive, and just hits it out of play to stay alive.
It just has that ability to take that late swing and just get a piece of it, foul it off. Never afraid to see him hitting with 2 strikes.
Carpenter with a fly ball into left center, and a fan has made his way on the field. On the field and near where that ball is caught. Oh my goodness. I want to make sure that our fans at home understand this. We are not allowed to shoot the individuals, so we will not put them on camera and shoot them with the cameras that we have around the stadium. You know, I wonder if Mike Matheny is going to say, now wait a minute, we've got pretty good speed at first base and Colton Wong. Would he have been tagging up? There was a lot of confusion on that play with a fan that ran on the field right when the pitch was happening. Then the fly ball was hit into left center field, where he made his way on the field. I give Seth Smith a lot of credit for making that catch.
Yes.
And thinking, you know, I mean, the last thing you're thinking about is a fan coming on the field and tackling you, and you don't know what that fan has.
Correct. And as you're saying, he's going after that ball and almost in a collision course with the fan coming out of the left field bleachers.
Man, oh man, that's scary. Fan has been escorted. The wagon gate in right center.
He'll be finding another wagon. The paddy wagon. Pham was able to go to third, so you have runners at the corners for Diaz.
Man, is that a scary situation for Seth Smith and also Martin? The center fielder fan just hopped right over the wall in left center. Just about where the ball was hit was where he was standing and running onto the field.
Well, Morgana used to run out on the field, the kissing bandit, up here in Seattle.
pitch he get you?
No, George Brett.
Runners at the corners, and Diaz hits it out of play. This night pales in comparison to the night that we had in Philadelphia. Gentleman was tasered.
That was a first for us. Yeah, that one worked. Diaz first time up, lined out to right field. Looked like he was going to get down into right center. Would have been an extra base hit. And he walked his second time up.
Well, Tommy Pham did tag up from second to third. Wong did not. No argument from Mike Matheny. No balls and 2 strikes on Diaz. Took a very good play by Nelson Cruz back in the first. A running catch on the track, took a hit away, and then he walked it in the third. Good play by Clevenger to keep that in front.
And that's we talked a little bit about it last night. You know how Diaz is so much better at staying away from those breaking balls in the dirt away from him. You know, if he gets a fastball in the inner part of the plate, he can turn on it and hit it out of the ballpark. And he also leads the National League in infield hits.
$40,431 here tonight. 4-0-4-3-1. The 2-2 pitch to LEONYS Diaz. Just got a piece. Pirates beat the Dodgers final of 6-1. McCutchen had 2 home runs. Also Jordy Mercer. And the Astros over the Royals again 13-5. Chris Young took that loss. We'll see him in the upcoming series against St. Louis. Altuve 4 for 5. He was a triple away from the cycle. Astros right now the hottest team in baseball.
Yeah, a triple at Kauffman Stadium is pretty easy, especially for a guy like Altuve and his speed.
2-2, runner goes, and it's fought off by Diaz.
Don't you like seeing that runner go there?
Got to start something.
Yeah, it gets. I mean, it. You know, one, you have to have speed, and a good job fouling that pitch off before it hit him. But Wong has the speed. He's 3 for 3 in steals this year. It's Colton Wong, and a good steal percentage in his career. 41 of 53. Get something moving.
The 2-2 inside.
It's last year's Rays Rookie Pitcher of the Year, KARNS, and you can see how the way he, he fall out of favor real quick, the way he's worked so slow and methodical.
The next to Diaz as the runner goes, and LEONYS hits it out to deep left field. It is gone! 3-run homer. LEONYS Diaz And the Cardinals are back in this game with home run number 10 from the Redbird rookie shortstop.
And you said if the Cardinals can hold them at 5, they'll come back and win this ball game. A lot of ball game left. And Diaz, we talk about little guy, but he packs a lot of punch. That ball in the inner part of the plate, he'll turn on it and hit out of any ball play. Seth Smith just turned and really didn't even turn back. He knew it was gone.
And now HOLLIDAY, who has an RBI base hit, back in the third. It's now a 5-4 Seattle lead.
HOLLIDAY 13 home runs. His next home run wearing the Cardinal uniform will be number 150.
He struck out on a curveball back in the first and a single with the bases loaded, and a 2-out RBI back in the third. Good breaking ball there. 1-2 the count.
As Diaz, a high pitch, he just tomahawked that into the Mariners bullpen, and the Cardinals are right back in this ball game.
Little chopper to third, backing up SEAGER, long throw and a good play. 2 away here in the top of the 5th inning.
A lot of times you back up on a ball and you're asking for trouble, but he's got a strong throwing arm and got the correct bounce. Scotty trying to break a little 0 for 12 and just 3 for 18 on this road trip.
Aledmys Diaz, and now here's Piscotty, 6th Cardinals rookie to hit 10 or more home runs before the All-Star break. For a guy that not many expected to be here at the beginning of this season.
And now we expect him to be here for quite a while.
Oh yeah, many years to come.
And he's getting more and more comfortable defensively. Great hitter on the road.
One ball, one strike. Piscotty came up with the bases loaded back in the third and lined it to Robinson Cano, and a hard hit ball. It's also grounded out to first. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mariners jumped out to a 5-0 lead. Now the Cardinals have come back with 4 of their own. And Piscotty hits a fly ball out to left, and this ball is over Smith, and it hops over the wall for a ground rule double.
That's how you break that over. And will KARNS stay in this game long enough? But you see the ball middle, just saying hit me.
It was interesting how Smith went back on that ball, and it had a little bit of that top spin, so it was sinking. I just wonder if he kept going forward, if he had a chance to
catch it,
to get to it. Yeah, you could see he was going to play it off the base of the wall maybe.
Right.
But if he keeps going back and tries to make a play on it, he might have made a pretty good catch.
And he might have been thinking that if the ball hit the wall and carried him right back at him, but it was short of the wall and bounced over it. But there was no doubt he hit this ball hard, and you could see how he's given up on it there. I think it's doubtful he would have been able to get back there, but happy the way it is. So the bullpen is active again for the Mariners.
The Mariners are trying to squeeze KARNS through one more out, have a chance to win this game. But boy, you are playing with fire right now when you've got a right-hander on fumes going against a left-handed hitting Brandon Moss, who has been red hot.
It was Roach who got the win in last night's ball game, warming up again. Remember, he's been able to handle left-handed batters. To a 204 average coming in. It was the righties that were beating Karns with a 310 average. But Moss, with his power potential, he could give the Cardinals a lead with one swing. Ball getting up consistently now. I say that curveball is real tough on the left-handed batters coming in on them.
Gentleman is not the rally squirrel, but he's in that same company. Ever since the fan that came on the field came racing in, Cardinals have a 3-run homer, now a double, and a chance to tie it up or take the lead. And Moss strikes out, so Karns is through 5. Maybe it for him. We'll see. Redbirds right back in this game. Baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. Chicago White Sox with 7 homers and a loss today that ties a major league record. Jose Reyes has been brought back to the Big Apple by the Mets in a minor league deal. And Stephen Wright, knuckleballer, you can see it there in that picture. His ERA has been brought up to 2.18 as they trail in their game against Texas. So here is Tyler Lyons, came in relief of Mike Leake. With 1 out and 1 on back in the 4th. Got a double play off the bat of Seager. We'll see how far the Cardinals go with Tyler Lyons now. And a 1-run Seattle lead.
I think we both expect Tyler to go out there and pitch very well. He's got a nice assortment. He could be starting for a lot of ball clubs in the big leagues. Got to find the strike zone.
.30 pitch, and he walked him. Mike Leake walked 2 in his time in 3 1/3. One of those intentional, both came around to score. July 3rd, watch the Cardinals take on the Brewers. 30,000 fans ages 16 and older. Go home with a Cardinals cooler backpack courtesy of Coca-Cola. The perfect accessory for hot summer days. Visit cardinals.com/promotions.
Tyler came in and finished up last inning with a double play ball, looking for another.
And a strike to Adam Lind. Lind is single to center field, picked up a 2-out RBI in the first, single to left in the third.
That was the 6th ground ball double play that Tyler has induced. A very good breaking ball.
Most home runs hit by a Cardinals shortstop in terms of the rookies, as Lynn pops it up. Carpenter makes the catch. Trip Cromer had 5 for a full season, and Diaz already with 10 before the All-Star break.
And Trip Cromer was the most by a shortstop? Rookie? Yeah. Homer Cromer.
Here's Steve Clevenger over 2. He's grounded out and struck out.
I saw that Mike Leake had some unfavorable matchups with a lot of the Mariners, but Lions, it's kind of the opposite. Adam Lind, who just popped out, he's now 2 for 14. Clevenger is just 1 for 6 off of Lions.
And a ground ball that's hit to first. It's fair. Moss's only play to step on the bag for out number 2. Runner advances into scoring position. That's HOLLIDAY. We have the Mariners on the front of these jerseys. The owners asked for suggestions when they brought baseball back to Seattle. They had over 15,000 entries. Entries were reviewed for their reasons in 25 words or less. And a gentleman from Bellevue, Washington was chosen. His entry stated, "I've chosen the Mariners because of the natural association between the sea, Seattle, and her people who have been challenged and rewarded by it." So there's why you have the name of the Mariners here in Seattle.
Much better explanation than like the Metropolitans or the Mets.
Yep.
Arte is a switch hitter. Very, very good speed. 250 from the right side, 290 from the left side.
One ball and 2 strikes.
Tyler Lyons out of options, so he must stay with the ball club. If he was put on waivers, he would be taken right away.
And a swing and a miss held on to by Yadier Molina. Good work thus far out of Tyler Lyons, out of the pen to record 5 outs. It's 5-4. here in inning number 6. We'll take a look at our Budweiser What's on Tap. Jaime Garcia against Paxton. And a reminder that our coverage begins St. Louis time at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. The Budweiser What's on Tap. New pitcher is Mike Montgomery. They have 3 lefties in their pen. Montgomery is one of them. Nuno and also Rollins. And he'll take over for Nathan Karns, who gives the Mariners 5 innings tonight.
Montgomery was with Seattle last year.
He was a first-round pick by Kansas City in 2008. Out of Santa Clara, California. And the first pitch is a strike.
Turns 27 July the 1st, almost his birthday.
Was really highly thought of for a long time in the minor league system for the Kansas City Royals as Cano puts that away. Traded to Tampa Bay. This was in 2012. Along with Jake Odorizzi, Patrick Leonard, and Will Myers. That was a huge deal for the Royals as they got James Shields and Wade Davis. Ironically enough, it was an injury to James Paxton that gave this lefty his major league debut. And there's a single for Yadier Molina. That was back in 2015.
Yeah, that base hit right there breaks an 0 for 20 for Yadi, and 7 hits away from 1,500 now in his career. Nice swing, ball taken right back up the middle. That'll start the winning rally for the Cardinals.
Here's Tommy Pham. It started the rally when he was hit by a pitch back in the 5th. And takes a ball high. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Tommy Pham. Pham looking for his first home run of this season. Coming into play tonight and appeared in 6 games, had a couple of hits.
Remember, he broke with the club out of spring training and in the lineup very first day, opening day in Pittsburgh. It's cold, had a raw wintry day, and he kind of tweaked a oblique in batting practice, and of course you're excited about opening day. He didn't really say anything, and then in his first plate appearance he pulled it.
Good cut, 3-2. That's always been the question with Tommy Pham. Can he stay healthy?
Yeah, very good athlete and is always getting hurt. Actually elected not to go, as a 6-year minor league free agent.
And he strikes out.
Wanted to stay with the Cardinals and reward them for all their patience.
Here's Colton Wong, the left fielder tonight. He's 2 for 2. A base hit to left and also an infield hit on a hit and run. Shortstop was moving to cover the bag at second base, and he hit it right where he was supposed to be. And again pops it up into shallow left. Marte can't make the play. My goodness. Seemed to be a routine pop-up.
Well, that ball just kept on drifting away from him.
12th error on Marte.
And a little nonchalant at the end there, and Longer needed to run out of the batter's box. Anyway, he stops here, thinks he's an out. Yeah. A lot easier just to put your head down and run to first base and let your fielder tell you. Yadi does the right thing. It's kind of a tough play for Yadi, but with 2 outs, he's got to go on it. Then you worry about not running the bag. Make them pay.
Extends the inning to Carpenter. First pitch is strike. Big gap in right center. 2 runners on for Matt Carpenter. See Marte sneak behind Yadier Molina if Clevenger would want to throw down to the bag at second.
It's like Montgomery's kind of sneaky fast. You know, they say Paxton, who's starting, a lefty who's starting tomorrow, throws 100 miles an hour, but it doesn't appear that high. You know, where some guys may throw 94 or 5 and it looks like 100.
Here's a 1-2. Carpenter jammed him. Slowly to second. Cano makes the play. Cardinals strand 2. They have left 6 on through 6. Midway through 6. Mariners by a run. Special moment in baseball today at Cincinnati. Prior to the Padres and the Reds, legendary broadcaster, Hall of Famer Marty Brennaman there as Pete Rose officially inducted into the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame. 4,192 career hits for the all-time hit king.
I still have a feeling that baseball may make an announcement. I thought they were going to do it last year at the All-Star game, but they allowed him to go into the Reds Hall of Fame. Never been on the ballot. Once he's on the ballot, he'll be voted in by the writers.
Also honoring the Big Red Machine of 1976, Pete Rose, franchise leader in hits, doubles, total bases, and runs.
In some ways, Danny, you know, he's made himself more in demand by not being a member of the Hall of Fame. He'll go there that weekend, Hall of Fame weekend. He goes to Cooperstown and sets up shop, sells his autograph. He'd just be a regular Hall of Famer if he was elected.
And not at the celebration today was Joe Morgan, And in early spring of 2014, Morgan went in for knee replacement surgery. Did not go well. Knee became infected. And that's all the public knew about that. And then on the Fox Sports broadcast late today, Pete Rose told everyone that Morgan is awaiting a bone marrow transplant for an unspecified illness.
Wow.
So unfortunately, Joe Morgan was not there today, and we're thinking about him.
Saw a bench there. And benches come out being critical of Pete, his former teammate.
The 2-2. Under the glove of Johnny Peralta. So Martin is aboard. Budweiser and the Cardinals are proud to bring back the 4th of July $4 ticket sale. This begins noon Monday. You can purchase tickets to see the Cardinals and Pirates on the 4th of July through the 7th for just $4. It starts Monday at cardinals.com/July. And again, that's Monday at noon for those $4 seats. So Martin is aboard.
That's his 3rd hit for a plate appearance tonight. Bowman starts to throw in the Cardinal bullpen. The thing you worry about Lyons is the fact that he warmed up 3 innings before he came into this ball.
Sure.
And so you just wonder how long he will go. That's only the first hit he's allowed. Came in and induced a double play to get out of the 4th inning. Needs one now.
I recall it was Joe Morgan and Johnny Bench, Mike Schmidt, also a former teammate. They actually met with Bud Selig, asking then the commissioner Selig to take a harder look at reinstating Rose. But that did not happen. We'll see if that door will ever open again for Pete Rose. Leadoff hit for Martin, who has 9 stolen bases this year. So good matchup for Yadier Molina potentially.
Some base stealers think it's easier once they kind of get a read on a left-handed pitcher, kind of know the key to when to go. They find it easier to steal off a lefty because he's looking right at you. Others find it the opposite.
Drops down a bunt and it rolls foul. Albert Pujols hits career home run number 574 today. He passes Hall of Famer Harmon Killebrew. So Albert is now 11th on the all-time home run list.
I think McGuire is next. At 583, something like that.
583.
That bunt didn't scare the Cardinal defense.
Good pitch, just missed.
There's 2 strikes and looked like a pretty good pitch. Yanni set up away. The breaking ball goes all the way around the plate and definitely outside.
Two and two the count. 5-4 Seattle. Jumped out to a 5-0 lead. Curveball and struck him out. Lyons picks up his 2nd strikeout. Boy, that is a nasty pitch from Tyler Lyons.
It really is. And it's a pitch that he can throw both lefties and righties. But you can see there, it's kind of a hanger, but he froze the left-handed hitter because he sees that ball kind of being released behind him. Cano's been on base 3 times tonight. 2 hits and an intentional pass.
It's a fly ball down the line. Wong is over with room and makes the catch. 2 down. Cardinals, Fox Sports, and the state of Missouri teaming up to help you stop smoking. For more information, Call the quit line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Padres beat the Reds today 3-0. Pomeranz picked up that victory. Mentioned the Pirates over the Dodgers 6-1. Mets over the Braves 1-0. That final in 11. Over in the American League, Blue Jays over the White Sox 10-8. Indians over the Tigers 6-0.
He was 1 for 2 in his career against Lions.
The question I think right now for Mike Matheny about Trevor Rosenthal, when is it and where in a game is it the right time to bring him in to get him right? Do you want to do it in a tight game? Do you want to do it in a blowout?
Well, I think it's kind of like you say, it's really hard to say, because ideally you bring him into a game that's already decided, but as a guy that's been a closer, he knows he's not going to be officially over it until he comes into games that are close. Kind of pitched around Cruz there with 2 outs.
Get the lefty-lefty matchup here with Seager. 4th walk that the Mariners have received in this game.
Seager's never faced Tyler Lyons, so that advantage always goes to the pitcher if you make good pitches.
And a strike to Seager, who has walked and scored. Grounded out in the 2nd. Should have been a double play and out of the inning. Instead, a run scored and bounced into a 4-6-3 double play back in the 4th, and that was the first batter that Tyler Lyons saw in this game.
Seager's batting .188 against left-handed pitching, but he does have 5 home runs. So you make a good pitch, you get him out.
The 1-1.
Make a bad pitch, any hitter can hurt you. Don't you get the feeling, Dan, that Tyler Lyons kind of over the offseason said, I'm tired of going up and down, and I think his confidence is right where it needs to be, and felt like, I'm going to make this team. And
how good is that? The breaking ball, 2 strikeouts and 3 in the game, 2 in this inning for Tyler Lyons. inning. If a Cardinals player hits a home run, the Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. LEONYS Diaz is homer tonight. This is his 10th of the season, a 3-run shot on a 3-2 pitch back in inning number 5, and that made it a 5-4 Seattle lead. That's our Nissan drive of the game.
And remember, the pitch before was up and in, almost a defensive swing. And he got another pitch up, but it was over the middle of the plate, and he knew what to do with it.
Diaz looks at strike one. Second inning of work for Montgomery. Diaz, Holliday, Piscotty, 2, 3, and 4 for the Cardinals. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Phillies lead the Giants. That's in the top of the 8th. San Francisco, along with Houston, the 2 hottest teams right now in baseball. And Diaz strikes out. Giants are 30-9 since May 11th. And at that point in the season, they were 18-18. They've gone 30-9 since.
And a lot of times at first 40 games, you know, clubs feel pretty good if they're at 500. Kind of still trying to find their identity. But their identity is pitching and defense.
Cueto, Samardzija. Cueto's been a great signing for them.
Remember, after he was traded last year at the deadline to Kansas City, he struggled in the regular season. Then had a great game in postseason, but
the 1-1.
Holliday got the Cardinals on the scoreboard with a RBI base hit in the 3rd. Just his 2nd hit on the road trip.
The 2-1. 2-2. Two down. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. So Montgomery's come in and quieted things down here for the Mariners. 5-4 our score. Here's Stephen Piscotty. And a ground rule double back in the 5th. Lined out with the bases loaded and also grounded out. Oh, 0-2. Seattle came into this series having lost 6 straight. Pitching staff that was in shambles. Had to make a lot of moves just to have bodies out there to be protected in these games, and won last night in dramatic fashion, and they lead this ball game in the 7th inning 5-4.
Yeah, they only have a 3-man bench as they're carrying 8 relievers. In the 70s, you'd have a 9 or 10-man pitching staff most of the time in the National League. In the American League, at times I've seen clubs go with an 8-man pitching staff because of the DH. But not today. Today, a lot of these managers feel like they need 7, 8 relievers and still feel like they can't cover a game. That's why it's so important to have the versatility. Have players that you can play more than one position, move them around.
Ripped foul. a strikeout of Stephen Piscotty. 2 in the inning. Time to stretch here in Seattle. Lions.
And a nice job. Came in with a 1 out, man on first base back in the 4th inning. Promptly got a double play off the bat of SEAGER. And since that time, he's walked 2, 1 intentional, and given up just 1 base hit, but 3 strikeouts. Said if the Cardinals keep them at 5 runs, we'll win this game.
Strike 2 Lee, and we're underway here in the bottom of the 7th.
And we said that when it was, what, 5-1.
Lesser teams, and I've said this a lot, but I mean, Tyler Lyons would be in the rotation undoubtedly.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. Kind of come up last 3 years, spot starting here and there. But he's pitched very, very effectively for the Cardinals. Out of the bullpen, his ERA has been under 2. And I think if he were to start, the Cardinals, remember this year, they only had 5 starters all season long.
Curveball misses in.
And I think he would handle a spot start a lot better than he would in the last couple of years. Remember, when he first came up, he won his first 2 ball games
right
as a starter.
Chopped foul past Manny Acta, third base coach here in Seattle.
Yeah, Lee has gotten a lot, 10 home runs and just 150 plus at bats. I think he and Lynn now will both get more playing time.
Curveball, goodbye. Lyons has come in and struck out 4. Plaza Tire Service freezing Lee and the strikeout.
Gave up on that ball and then a breaking ball. Remember, he had a team high 7 strikeouts May 6th and 3 2/3 innings of relief. That's top strikeouts by a reliever. Major League Baseball. He's 4th in the National League, getting 6 ground ball double plays.
Pinch hitter will be Franklin Gutierrez. He'll pinch hit for Adam Lynn.
He's kind of found a home as a pinch hitter now.
Look at these uniforms for the Cardinals, and you think back to those great teams. Ozzie Smith, Tommy Herr, Ken Obergfell on that infield. Keith Hernandez.
Well, I look at him and cringe because we wore the blue uniforms in 1977, the year with Vern Rapp. He called them victory blues. Wasn't a lot of victories in them. But in the 80s, there sure was.
Vern, your buddy.
Vern passed away this year. I had nothing to do with it.
Strike to Gutierrez. Little bouncer to Maniacta. We're talking about Edgar Martinez. He spent his entire 18-year career with the Mariners. Two-time batting champion, 7-time All-Star, 5 Silver Sluggers. He was a former third baseman turned DH because he tore his hamstring during an exhibition game at BC Place in Vancouver. It was on artificial turf. Hit a seam in that turf and tore up the hamstring, and he never fully recovered, so he became a full-time DH.
You know, I talked to John Mabry about his former teammate. John played up here 3 years, and he just said that he may be the best right-handed hitter that he ever played with, played against, or saw in person. And then David Bell, who played 3 years up here, was talking about not only the great hitter that he is, but just a super person, and just really so respected.
Fly ball into right. Piscotty over and makes the catch. They have named the outstanding designated hitter award after Edgar Martinez. There's a street that's named after him here at this right outside this facility.
David Bell just, you know, played up here and just, you know, we had great teams, but couldn't say, you know, couldn't elaborate how much respect he had for Edgar Martinez. And I know Mabry said it's still, he teaches things that he learned from Edgar. And, you know, Dan, if they're reluctant to put DHs in the Hall of Fame, why do we have the position?
Mentioned it earlier, Frank Thomas is in primarily a DH. Not always. There's Aledmys Diaz. He makes the play playing up the middle. You would assume David Ortiz is headed to the Hall of Fame in 2020. It's 5-4. Relief, both have been very good. Montgomery here for Seattle. Tyler Lyons, 3 2/3 scoreless baseball. He's had one man get to second base, and that's been it. Kept the Cardinals in this game. It's 5-4 here in the top of the 8th. It'll be Moss, Peralta, and Molina. Yeah. Moss trying to bunt his way on back in the second. He's also popped out and struck out.
Unfortunately, Montgomery's been able to match Tyler Lyons, so like you say, they've restored order in this game.
One and one. Mariners have a right-hander throwing in their pen, so we'll see if Montgomery faces Brandon Moss, and then would he be lifted in this game?
Edwin Diaz is that right-hander warming up.
Curveball and a beauty. Strikes out Moss. Buckled him. Montgomery's come in and struck out 4.
And here's going to be the pitching change. Montgomery did a great job for Scott's service. It was 2 1/3 shutout innings.
This will be the Chevy call to the pen. Tyler Lyons and his night tonight. AT&T high-speed replay and that good breaking ball, and it was really good here tonight.
4 strikeouts. His time. Edwin Diaz, just 22 years of age. He made his major league debut on June the 6th.
He was the organization's top pitching prospect the last 2 years. And that's pulled foul. 3rd round selection in the 2012 draft out of a military academy in Puerto Rico. Fastball can get to 98, 99. It was Jerry DiPoto that moved him from starter to reliever because of this velocity.
Well, I always still feel that take these young pitchers and when you bring them to the big leagues, you put them in the bullpen for a while because they can kind of hold their hand. A manager can hold their hand, use them in spots where they aren't overwhelmed, and if they are, they can, take them out of a ball game, bring in another reliever. But kind of get their feet wet, get their confidence out of the bullpen.
Montgomery was in relief of Nathan Karns, who went 5. Montgomery 2 1/3 as he struck out 4. And now it's Molina after the first 2 have struck out. Little flare out to shallow right center, and it drops in. Base hit, Yadier Molina, his second of the night.
He was 0 for 20 before he got the base hit in the 6th inning, and now he gets one here in the 8th. But
Cardinals last night used this opportunity to pinch run for Molina.
almost look like he's looking, saying, I wonder if good time, maybe even with Yadi getting these back-to-back hits, good time to give him a rest tomorrow. Part of the problem is it looks like Peralta needs some rest. Holiday can use a little breather. Of course, being a DH, I'm sure Holiday is saying I got half the day off. Fastball sliders from our Hyundai pitch arsenal and Diaz.
Here's a 1-0 to Tommy Pham. Pham pulls it. Seager, great play to second, out. What a play by Seager. Brought to you by Bud Light Lime and by your local Volkswagen dealer. Well, Tyler Lyons has kept the Cardinals clearly in this game and saved the bullpen along the way. After a short outing from Mike Leake. Mike Leake, the starter tonight, 3 1/3, and since then it's been all Tyler, and he has pitched really well. Again, a little surprised the Cardinals did not pinch run for Yadier Molina, and it may have cost them on that play. The great play that it was by Seager as Marte is showing bunt and looks at a strike.
And think about this, Seager knowing who's running, Yadier Molina, went to second base.
And a fly ball out to left. Catch made by Colton Wong. July 2nd, it's the Matt Carpenter batting practice jersey. 30,000 fans ages 16 and older take home a replica Carpenter BP jersey, courtesy of Ford. And get your tickets for the July 2nd Cardinals game against the Brewers at cardinals.com/promotions.
Cishek warming up for the Mariners, former Cardinal. Try and close this one out, but this could have been disastrous for the Cardinal bullpen, if not for the work that Lyons has done tonight.
Popped up. Brandon Moss, 2 away. You know, primarily when we've seen Tyler Lyons in a game, one way or another, it's been a blowout. And in watching him pitch this game tonight, you just wonder if his role would grow with more of those high leverage situations.
Well, that's what you got to hope for. You know, I mean, you'd like to think the Cardinal pitching staff, the starters, are good enough that, you know, you can use him in more valuable roles and for shorter outings later on in a game. You know he can get lefties and righties out.
So 2 outs and nobody on, and O'Malley is the pinch hitter for Seattle.
With only 3 men on their bench, he's the second one used. Only Iannetta, the catcher, backup catcher tonight.
Drops down a bunt. Peralta makes the play, and the stretch by Moss sends us to the 9th. Colton Wong is coming up, and the Cardinals down by a run. In the studio along with Rick and Keel. We appreciate everything tonight. See you on the post-game show. Steve Cishek is the new pitcher as he'll reach into his back pocket as we saw in St. Louis. It is a Bible verse that he reads before every time he comes out. Reads that verse, puts it in his pocket, and away we go. On a day when Seattle lost its starting pitcher in warm-ups, Cishek, the last available fresh arm when he took the mound in their final game of their recent road trip. 39 pitches in that game. He's converted 16 of 20 saved chances. ERA of 2.43. This is the kind of guy that if he flips up that slider and it just spins, Wong could knock it out.
He's also the kind of guy that Jerry DiPoto, tried to acquire. A lot of guys that, had good track records but came off of bad seasons or down seasons, and trying to get them a chance to get back to where their numbers, career numbers look.
Remember, Cishek acquired in mid-July from Miami for the Cardinals. Recorded 1 save in St. Louis. Mostly worked in the 6th, 7th, and 8th. Pitched in 23 1/3 innings for St. Louis and a 2.31 ERA.
A lot of times when you get somebody that throws as far underneath that Cishek does, you know, the left-handed batters have pretty good at-bats against him, but we've seen in his career he has good success of retiring left-handed batters.
The 2-2 to Wong. First baseman of the Mariners is our Budweiser player of the game, Dae-Ho Lee. On base a couple of times, 2 RBI. Went 1 for 3 tonight. Remember, Jerry DiPoto also traded for Joaquin Benoit. We saw him last night, but it was in December. He said Cishek is our closer, even though Benoit had closing experience. And Carpenter drives it into right center field. This ball will get down. One hops off the wall. Carpenter on his way to second base, diving in head first, and he's safe. Matt Carpenter with the double, his 23rd, and now the tying run is in scoring position.
Now he's hit in 16 of his last 17 games. And boy, did that ball get back into the infield quickly. Matt is a doubles machine. Look, he leaves the batter's box thinking too, but he had to turn it on right here, and a good head first slide to the infield side as the throw came to the outfield. And if he was not hustling, he wouldn't have been safe.
Diaz, boy, he'd love to have that back. Is it playable? No.
It looked like it sat there, didn't it?
Yes.
Right-handed batters are hitting .098 against Cishek.
Kia in the driver's seat, the home runs. Rookies all time. Diaz with his 10th earlier tonight. And the 0-1. Segrist and getting loose in the pen. Confirmed by Mike Matheny at the start of play tonight that Rosenthal, for the time being, out as the closer.
I would
Base hit could tie it up.
I would guess that Segrist would pitch if it's a tie game, and if it's a save situation. Just a guess, though.
Aledmys Diaz with that home run was back in the 5th, a 3-run shot. He now is driven in 39. The 2-1 pitch to Diaz. Oh, he hung it, got away with it. Popped up, Seager, 2 down.
Well, 2 pitches sit there, and that at bat for Diaz looked like it sat there. The one he fouled back, and then this one, and he gets underneath and pops up to the third baseman. Matt Holliday has a chance. How about that 150th Cardinal home run right now?
2-out RBI back in the 3rd. Holliday against Cishek. First pitch to him. Fastball, then it misses. One for 6 against the closer of the Mariners. Tying run. Carpenter at second base. Big lead off his second. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Piscotty on deck.
Big crowd stuck around. Most of them on their feet right now. Is this game in the balance? Remember about those good outfield arms.
The 2-0. Hit to short. Marte. Mariners look for a sweep tomorrow.
Mariners are now 8-1 in interleague play. And the Cardinals, after sweeping the Angels, have lost every interleague play game since then. Thought they're going to come back in this one, but Montgomery and Cishek did their job.
Stay with us. Post-game show with Jim Hayes, Rick Ankiel. All the highlights around Major League Baseball. They'll break down this one. 5-4, the final.